Welcome to the final part of Let's Play Super Mario Bros. In this part I'll be talking about more differences between the original version and the Super Nintendo version, and if there's any time left I'll save a princess or something. But first we have to save another bag of toads who tell us our princess is in another castle, because that's not getting old anytime soon. Oh, and here I show off the more efficient way of killing Hammer Brothers I was talking about last part, or you can kill more enemies like that, but Hammer Brothers are usually in a formation like that, where there are two of them and two rows of bricks they'll hop between. I don't know, there's only so much you can say about Mario 1. I suppose I could also go the other way of the Let's Play, which is to point out everything that's going on screen. There are hammers. I just jumped again. Yeah, there's a reason I'm not doing these Let's Plays live, folks. I need time to think about what I'm about to say, and if I'm playing while trying to think, I'll just be silent the whole time, and that wouldn't be very amusing. Oh yeah, I've yet to talk about those spring thingies. You jump on them, and if you hold the jump button while jumping off of them, you'll bounce really high, and they don't appear all that much. In fact, I don't think they appear ever again in the rest of the Mario series. Well, I'm sure they do at some point, but not really consistent. Well, at least not enough times that you can consider them a staple of the Mario series, like the springs in the Sonic series. Those appear a lot. Also, near the end of that last level, we saw a staircase formation with a Buzzy Beetle on it. Would have been a perfect opportunity to do the one-up trick. But I can't really do the one-up trick reliably, and I didn't want to risk it. This is a no-death run after all. Not like my usual almost no-death runs, like I did with Mega Man and Castlevania. I will do the same with Metroid. Anyway, I will make a mental note that 7-1 is a good place to do the one-up trick, because I still have to record the extra video and I do want to show off the one-up trick for that. Also, it's another water level. There really aren't that many of these in the game. There is one of them in a sort of mini bonus room where you start off in an overworld level and you can take a detour in the water level and then go back to the overworld level. I don't know why you would want to do that, because it's a water level and nobody likes water levels. And I'm sure that now I'll get a bunch of comments saying, I like water levels, shut up. That would be if I got any comments at all. Sniff. But yeah, there really aren't that many swimming levels in the game. And I've yet to show off that you can use fireballs underwater. But let's just say I may get another chance in the final level of the final world. Call it a hunch. So we just finished the water level, and as sort of a tradition, which isn't really a tradition because we only do it twice, we now have a bridge level. Just straightforward running with almost no obstacles. A nice change of pace once in a while, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Mario 1. I can't complain about you. Yes I can. It's my thing. It's what I do. I complain. I complain a lot. I'm just pessimistic like that. Sometimes. Usually. Mostly. Always. Can you tell I'm just trying to fill up time because I don't have enough to talk about before we get to the maze level? Well, I do have stuff to talk about, but not until I get to the maze level, because I want to talk about the maze level and those other things I want to talk about are a bit too long. And now I'm at the maze castle. See, I plan these things out. Another reason why I don't do these videos live. Not that there's too much to talk about in the maze level itself, just that I'm gonna be explaining exactly which path you should take. Then again, you can know that by just looking at the screen, so I just wasted time for nothing. Anyway, the first phase. Bottom path. Middle path. Top path. And the second and final phase, because really this castle isn't very long. Top path. Then you have to be careful taking the middle path. And the top path again. And then you're at Bowser. I just want to repeat that in the original you didn't have that little audio clue telling you when you're right and when you're wrong. You were just left to wander around and question why the level loops. So just another minor reason to play this version over the 8-bit version. Miniature Toads! So now we're about to get to World 8, the final world of the game. And this first one is a long one. It's pretty much sort of a marathon level, and the only level where there's any real risk of running out of time. Unless you're just fucking up at the maze castles, of course. And there are also a few places in this level where it looks like you're about to get to the flagpole and then nope, goes on for longer. Which also reminds me that I still have some stuff to bring up that I actually should have brought up way earlier in this playthrough, but checkpoints! There are checkpoints in this game. There's nothing indicating that there are checkpoints in this game, but when you die you will sometimes be brought back in the middle of the stage, depending on where you were when you died. But there are levels in the game that don't have checkpoints. In fact, I think that World 8 doesn't have any checkpoints at all. But I could be wrong about this. Maybe World 8 does have checkpoints. Maybe World 7 doesn't have any checkpoints either. I can't say I bothered to check. Point. So that's one thing on my information list I can finally cross out. That's been staring me in the face this whole time. What other things do I still need to cross out? Multiplayer! This game has multiplayer, where you play as Mario's brother Luigi. Or at least the second player plays as Luigi. He controls the same until Mario 2, where he controls differently, but there's also no multiplayer in Mario 2. And then in Mario 3 he controls the same again, and he's back to multiplayer. But yeah, there's multiplayer, and in multiplayer you're pretty much racing to get to the end of the game before the other one does. The thing is that you're not playing at the same time, you're just taking turns. So you will start off as player 1, or player 1 will begin the game, and you only switch to player 2 when player 1 dies. So if you're playing with someone really good, you're just gonna be waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting until the other one dies. That's in the original version of this game. In this version, the All-Stars Remake 16-bit Super Nintendo whatever, you're still not playing at the same time, but you will not only switch upon dying, but you will also switch upon completing a level. So player 1 will do level 1, and then player 2 gets a chance to do level 1. So whether the other one succeeds or fails, you will still get a balanced playing time. So that's good. Oh, now we're in 8-2. That's not good, because this is the level where I got stuck as a child. In fact, the very beginning of this level is where I got stuck as a child multiple times. But I have an excuse. I could only barely see Lakitu because I had Super Mario Deluxe for the Game Boy Color. Super Mario Deluxe is a horrible version of the original Mario Brothers. Well, it's not really a version, it's just a port with a few minor extras. But why is it so bad? Because it suffers from the same problem that a lot of handheld ports of console games suffer from. And that is goddamn screen crunch. You have so little room to see what's ahead of you, what's above of you, what's below you, what's behind you. It's ugh. And of course, quite recently, Nintendo gave away free download codes to 3DS owners to get a free download of Super Mario Deluxe. Why would you give a download of the worst version of a game? I actually downloaded the damn thing because why the hell not? It's free and I'm cheap. So I got it, played it, and just remembered how bad it was, and I'm angry, and we're now in a level with nothing but Hammer Brothers and a few bullet builds. But I'm just trying to change the subject because I'm getting angry again. Anyway, I'm starting to run out of times of things I need to say, so I'm gonna do a lightning round of things I need to say. 1. After completing this game, you can do the second challenge. The second challenge is pretty much the same game, just replacing all the Goombas with Buzzy Beetles. 2. This version of the game has a save feature, a feature the original version didn't have either. And 3. Depending on your score, when you get to the end of a level, you will sometimes get fireworks, but I don't know exactly what scores you need to have to get which number of fireworks. Anyway, back on track. If you play your cards right, you can get a fire flower in this level, and the fire flower is something you're gonna want to hang on to because of that one Hammer Brother near the end of the final castle. In fact, the final boss. I'm just gonna call him the final boss, because Bowser also isn't much of a threat. Also, I'm gonna show off that this time we are gonna fireball the real Bowser. With the other Bowsers, when you use fireballs like 5 times, it will show that it just turns into a random enemy instead of the real Bowser. But this time it will stay the real Bowser when he falls into the lava when we use the fireball, so I'm gonna show off that. Also, one more thing, in the level we just completed, the wall in the background was originally in the foreground, so the coin block at the very end was supposed to be sort of hidden. But now we're in the final castle, which is also a maze level, and I like the little effect of the windows in the background sometimes showing thunder, even though it was bright daylight a minute ago. Anyway, this maze castle is a little different from the other ones. In the other ones it was choosing between a top path, a middle path or a bottom path. In this one you have to go down the correct pipe, and if you don't go down the correct pipe and take the wrong pipe, you will just be back to the beginning of the level, or somewhere near the beginning of the level. The point is you won't be making any progress, but there is a little trick you can use to get past this one, other than me showing it on screen right now. It's always gonna be the pipe after the lava pit, so whenever you get to a lava pit, just jump over it and take the first pipe after that. So that's something to keep in mind. For example, here's the lava pit, jump over it, so it's this pipe. Easy, right? Anyway, this pipe takes us to, whoa, a water level with fire and more fire. Mario Brothers, because fuck logic. I just want to repeat that I tried really hard to hang on to this fire flower, and if you don't, that means you're gonna have a pretty hard time with that one hammer brother at the end. AKA the final boss, as people like to joke. Also, fucking bloopers! Thank Lord for the fire flower, which works underwater. I just want to repeat that because it's fire underwater. I shouldn't need to explain this.
Hey, if we're underwater, how could there be a...
And with that said, we are almost done. I have no more final thoughts to give, mostly because there's not really a credit sequence, so I won't have any time to give my final thoughts. But final boss time! Boy, was that a struggle. Super boss! Bow. He's unkillable, so we're just gonna have to jump over him. Cool, I beat the super boss. Now there's this little joke enemy. He's just there as sort of a mini boss after the not super boss, whatever. I'm trying to make a joke, but I'm failing. We won! We beat the game! We're now Bowser. We're gonna stand on this bridge and shoot fire at things. But first, Princess. I have about 7 toads of sexual frustration to take out on this bitch. And you people don't need to see that. I don't think that kind of content is allowed on YouTube. So, I hope you enjoyed this Let's Play, and I see you next time for Metroid. Unless I decide to do another sort of bonus Let's Play, but we'll see about that. For now, thank you for watching and good night.